I'm going to talk about this story because I'm a certified hater, but more revelations from the Sam Bankman-Fried arrest and the fucking our boy Big Sean McElwee and the data per progress. It certainly seems like there could be a federal indictment sometime coming down off this, because the allegations of a straw donations being sort of, I don't know, distributed through data for progress from Sam Bankman-Fried and Fried and FTX doesn't look good here.
I like calling him Big Sean McElwee because it's like, oh, data for progress is polling in 2020 and 2022 was ass. You know, like the one Big Sean song that everyone knows.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just imagining like Sean McElwee and fucking Sam Bankman-Fried talking on the phone like Sosa and Tony Montana. Just like betting money on politics and shit. I mean, I don't know if these guys, I mean, it's like, does Adderall do this? Because, I mean, like, I don't know, it's just like the megalomania on display here is pretty insane.
I think
like,
that in any case of just catastrophic hubris, amphetamines definitely help, because you just have no time to ever question yourself, because you just have the pedal to the metal for every moment. That's why, Aubrey McClendon is where it all ends up, where America and Americans all end up, if they're lucky, is they get to feel at least the agency of hitting the gas pedal when they smash their fucking Lamborghini into a retaining wall.
Oh, dude, God bless Aubrey. No billionaire is ever going to kill himself in such a cool way again. I mean, this is just an aside. I hate to like talk about Elon Musk more, but it's like when he kills himself, he is purposely going to like go into a SpaceX rocket that he knows is going to blow up, because he's going to have to make it look like an accident, because he's too self-obsessed to like actually kill himself and have everyone know it. And he's going to, dude, imagine the annoying shit he's going to say before, one way or another, I'm going to make it to the stars.
Ugh.
He won't drive a car directly into a brick wall like our hero, Aubrey. He took a bunch of lemons being named Aubrey and then made lemonade. The coolest suicide ever. But I think it's amphetamine abuse. One thing that I do think is funny about Sam Bankman-Fried is that he is not even addicted to like Adderall. He's addicted to Concerta, which is the ADHD med you give to like kids who throw chairs at teachers. It's not even like the overachiever amphetamine. That's like, if you're in a non-standard classroom with desks that are designed specifically so that you can't throw them, you're on Concerta.
But because I'm a certified hater, there's just one quote I want to share about Sean McElwee. I'm just going to read a quote here. This was not just about directing donations to candidates. This was about Sean running a political strategy designed to shield crypto from government oversight so that crypto billionaires could continue to rip off working people, said Max Berger, a one-time McElwee ally and progressive strategist.
Oh, damn. Betrayed by Berger.
Yeah.
McElwee being betrayed by Berger has got to sting extra hard. The meat of this whole thing, right, is like a lot of those candidates that were like David Shore, Sean McElwee, Data for Progress. Their whole thing was that they were going to give the crypto industry like a regulatory bill that SBF essentially wrote, right? Yeah. Like that seems to be the thing. The thing that I actually think will potentially put Sean McElwee in jail is the straw donor thing. That is like the exact type of case that like SDNY or even just like New York DAs love, because it's boring, and it also like it's a way for them to like go after a Democrat who has fallen out of the fold, like that Chuck Schumer doesn't give a shit about it anymore, so they can look nonpartisan and like they're fighting corruption.
Even though Chuck Schumer showed up at Sean's fucking
he was out with the party.
But now I don't know him anymore. Who's that guy?
Right. Well, they had a falling out. Basically, they bricked so hard in 2020 that Data for Progress like just pissed off a lot of Democratic establishment just through sheer incompetence, which is pretty amazing when you think about the people that still work for them.
Yeah.
But Dinesh D'Souza went to jail for straw donor.
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah, it's an easy dunk on usually just totally extraneous chumps, and that definitely fits Sean.
Yeah, so like we should go into like what the straw donor accusations are. Shout out to Carl Bayer for pointing this out. SBF gave Data for Progress $48,000, right?
Yeah.
Sean McElwee in turn gave $47,800 to candidates that SBF had already backed and had already maxed out to. Pretty funny that his only cut was $200.
Because he believed in it. It wasn't about the money. It's about being effectively altruistic.
Yeah. Among those candidates were Max Frost, the new Zoomer congressman, the only open Kingdom Hearts congressman,
brother of Amber, believe it or not.
Brother of Amber. They come from a Kingdom Hearts family. Amber loves
he's the
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts candidate. This is the Zoomer congressional candidate who now like apparently can't rent a house in DC or something.
Yeah.
Okay, rent's too damn high.
But yeah, there was something about him, like, you know, possibly running a common sense crypto regulation bill. But I mean, we'll see what happens now. I mean, that money is just completely tainted, and I imagine that Frost, along with all the other SBF candidates, are just gonna, you know, who's that? I don't know. A lot of people work for me. I don't know. I never met that guy. I don't really remember him.
I mean, if crypto keeps tanking, then there's just not going to be the money to craft their own legislation. They're not going to be able to pay for it. It's pay for play, and they're not going to be able to pay.
Yeah, I would give it a 30% chance of McElwee going to jail for the straw donor thing. I'm more interested in what happens to David Shore.
More cool parties. More shuttle puddles.
Yeah.
Oh. It does seem like he has kept himself a little more aloof and is probably going to, you know, not suffer legal consequences for it. So if that's the case, just wait the weeds a little bit. You'll be fine. Because as long as you are selling what people want to hear, you're always going to have a buyer.
Shoreism has a strong future. Like do not short Shoreism right now. Buy for the long term. I don't think he's going anywhere. It's funny you talk about the short and long term, because there's just another detail here about McElwee's dislike of books, because they tell you what you already want to know. However, there is one book that he was a fan of, and it deals once again with long-termism. Apparently, at his parties, he would give out copies of this book by an Australian philosopher named Toby Ord called "The Precipice: Existential Risk and the Future of Humanity."
Y'all reading a book written by a fucking Toby? You will not catch that happening to me.
Look at my philosopher dog. He's an Australian named Toby. I'm never making it to an enlightenment dog.
My ontology going to jail for sure. I just looked up this book, The Precipice, on Amazon though, and I just want to read the jacket copy from it. It says here, this urgent and eye-popping book makes the case that protecting humanity's future is the central challenge of our time, as opposed to like other times in history, which protecting humanity was like not really seen as a worthy goal pursuing.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm in a Mindheads meeting from Bowfinger. What the hell are you talking about?
But it says here, if all goes well, human history is just beginning. Our species could survive for billions of years, enough time to end disease, poverty, and injustice, and to flourish in ways unimaginable today. So, you know, Star Trek could still happen if we get it right now.
By directing all money flows upward to the smartest geniuses in the world, who are the people who are best at computers.
No, just think about this. Does this make sense to you on its face? We will achieve the world that we see in Halo, but better, because of a security that is a bunch of math equations that is used to buy cocaine on a MacBook. That makes sense.
It says, but this vast future is at risk. With the advent of nuclear weapons, humanity entered a new age where we face existential catastrophes, those from which we could never come back. Since then, these dangers have only multiplied, from climate change to engineered pathogens and artificial intelligence. Once again, artificial intelligence is now
those
on
dang
par
computers, we made
with
them too
climate
good.
change and nuclear Armageddon. The computers
I'm
are
just
just
too
too
smart.
good.
Whenever
Eventually, everyone
yeah.
is. Fortnite will be so good. Every human being will have a Fortnite skin that you can play, and at that point, Skynet becomes self-aware, and we're just on the battle bus. We're not coming off the island.
Yeah, good luck doing the leftist dance too. Whenever a tech guy says that AI is one of the greatest challenges facing humanity, it's like when someone says one of their greatest weaknesses is that they care about others too much.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a workaholic, a perfectionist. That's my biggest weakness.
Oh yeah, one of the scariest things is this thing I invented because I'm so smart.
And like, I don't know, but they keep saying that like AI is this like existential threat, but like, how do we combat it? Like the Butlerian jihad? Do we start that now?
Well, certainly not that. No, like none of these people are saying unplug
we need
the
to
machines.
attack computers on site.
They're not saying that. They're saying the opposite. They need to the people who have been raised up by the computer are the ones who should be given unchallenged control over all society. I just don't know how that squares.
Yeah, we need a Zyrtec addict to give machines ethics, I guess. That's what it always comes down to.
If only we could program Sam Bankman-Fried to feel pain, then he might have empathy.
Sam Bankman-Fried watching someone shower. I know why you do that, but it's not something I can do myself. Just slowly lowering himself into a bath at the end of the movie.
Water immediately turns black like in a cartoon. This whole thing was such a lifeline because if you're Sean, you have that moment that we all had in early Trump era of like, oh my God, I get to be personally successful in life and also genuinely help make the world a better place. Holy crap! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy shit! I can't believe it. I've won the life jackpot at the end of history here. But then reality hits you in the face, and it's like, oh shit! Well, what am I going to do with my plan to cozy up to elected Democrats as a way to make the world better? Now that the transparent fraud of that has been exposed for everyone, I know I'm going to take a philosophy that says, yeah, sure, every structure is reinforcing misery at every level, but there's hypothetical humans a billion years from now who might depend on all this misery, and you get to square the circle again and get back to be a good person while having Chuck fucking Schumer show up at your birthday party.
It's like long-termism is sort of like this weird. Talking about Star Trek again, it's like this weird like prime directive where like, oh, we can't solve any of the problems in the present because like it could interfere with some sort of timeline in the future in which Star Trek comes true. So we have to.
If Star Trek is going to come true, it's not going to be because we let the computer do whatever we wanted. It's going to be because we all realized our need collectively as human fucking beings to take over from the computer. Because if you let the computer do whatever it wants, it's going to strip everything out of Earth. It's going to denude the planet of any value that is not profit. Because that's the only fucking algorithm that is operative. It's the only programming that can survive. Nothing else can test with it.
Talk about nothing new being under the sun. Long-termism and this whole like the whole philosophy, right down to shoreism, which is really just at the end of the day, Clintonism or Carvillism. It is like a bunch of people who have some conscious memories of 1999, hoping for it to be real again, trying to make it so that the set of problems they're working on is similar to the set of problems that their predecessors in the late 90s worked on, sort of like doing a cargo cult thing of trying to make things as outwardly good as they were or as we remember them in 1999, that the only problems we can think to work on are these existential ones.
Right, because everything else is
history
solved.
Problems.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, if we do shoreism and, Democrats hold the executive branch forever, then we've essentially solved everything. We get to be in 1999 forever.
Yeah, just like Jack Donaghy wanted.
Well, yeah. What is shorism? Shorism is, when your elected officials do things that people like and don't do things that people don't like. What is that? It depends. Okay, great. Well, we're going to do that, and we're going to hold the executive branch forever, and then maybe, according to David Shore, over a 500-year period, we'll win the Senate.
Medicare for all.
We'll make something better than Medicare for all, but only in 700 years. But in that time, what we have to figure out are, how to make an infinite food supply, how to regrow oxygen in space, how to terraform the moons of Mars and give them electoral votes to further shorism. It's a great way. It's a great way to not live in this world more than anything.
Hey, Phobos is getting 2 senators before DC. That's for sure.
I mean, it really does show the difference between the young conservatives and the younger Democrats here, because they both sort of implicitly understand that the political horizon is mass death of humans, large scale death of human beings in the next 100 years, and the Republican young people are like, that's actually cool, and we should organize our politics around making that experience pleasurable for the people who are going to carry it out. Whereas for the young Democrats, who that's a little icky, they want to just kind of close their eyes and imagine past that. Like, okay, 100 years, there'll be some unpleasantness, but at the end of it, we're going to have Star Trek. Right, for the few people left inside the wire, like the book Four Futures, anyone remembers that one? The exterminationist end resulting in the final end of total post-scarcity for all, because you've solved the equation by just removing 7 billion integers.
Matt, that's actually pretty funny, because that is basically how the Federation in Star Trek happens in the Star Trek universe. Is like the 21st century is rough. It's bad. The Bell riots have to happen for things to get better, folks. I mean, like, that's my long-termist belief. Once we start putting the homeless into exclusion zones in San Francisco, and the Bell riots happen, it'll spur.
We're on the track, one way or the other. It's a question of what are you going to do during the actual period, And at least the right wingers have the answer to that. I want to wear the Totenkopf, and I want to man the drones, because I've memed myself into thinking that makes me Charles Martel.
Yeah, the elder millennial delusion, right, over the future and mass death is the fantasy that the mass death is going to happen to us. Mm-hmm. That if you are like sort of in the Warren milieu, or maybe to the left of that, you love the idea that, like, well, my grandkids are going to get boiled by sea waters, even though that, that would be the first time in history where the first world bore the brunt of its crimes.
Right.
That's just not how it's going to happen. And I don't know, without opening up a whole can of worms, I in general sort of stray away from hyper specific, hyper comprehensive predictions of what it will be like, X hundreds or thousands of years from now. I don't think we quite know one way or the other, but suffice to say, I do not think that, Chicago, Illinois will be drowning in toxic boiling seawater. Mm-hmm. The right wingers, as Matt said, their whole thing is getting front row seats to seeing the climate refugee boats get gunned down.
Yeah,
like that is the exciting future.
Just one last thing on Big Sean here. There's a quote going around where quoting Sean, where he just says, "I'm like Radiohead for donors. You can't really explain why I'm good, but everyone knows that I'm good at it." And I just gotta say, like, if he wasn't on cocaine, then like this is even funnier, because I mean he's just like staggering out of one of his happy hours, like, "Say goodbye to the bad guy. My polls are my data is so polluted. I can't even predict the midterm.
She can't even win in New York because her polls are so polluted." It's like, buddy, you are not even 5 seconds of summer for donors.